Hello there and welcome back to my Minecraft for Old People series where I make an absolute hash of doing everything on Minecraft because even though I've been playing this for years and years and years, I'm still absolutely rubbish at it. Anyway, if you remember, last time we made our iron farm and today we need to get on and make a start on building our next power-up for Minecraft, and that is our villager trading hall. Honestly, this is going to make things absolutely amazing. We're going to be fully kitted out in diamond gear without mining a single diamond if everything goes according to plan. Now, it's worth mentioning that this is a ridiculously efficient way of getting amazing gear and saves you hours and hours of grinding for diamonds with crap tools. But if you enjoy the grind, you might prefer the more traditional method of getting the cover me with diamonds advancement. I'm far too impatient for that and really want to crack on with building stuff, so the sooner I've got fully enchanted gear, the better. So, with that in mind, the first thing that we're going to need is a whole bunch of trapdoors, and in order to do that we need to do a little bit of resource gathering. Okay, we've got a slight leaf problem there, but yeah, that's another problem for another day. And we are going to need for this, as I say, a whole load of trapdoors. Let's just see how many we can make with that. 30, yeah, that's plenty for now. That'll do. And we need a whole load of fences as well. What fences have we got? We've got all of them. That's grand. We can get rid of that. Let's head over and see how our very lovely villagers are doing. We should have plenty of them. I probably should have brought some bread to feed them again because you'd never want to run out of villagers. Hello, gentlemen. Right, so the plan is that we do not want them to go in that direction, so I'm going to completely block that route off. We don't want them to go that way. We don't want them to go that way. We do want them to go this way and basically straight into here. Now, in order to encourage them to actually go in this direction, I am going to put a couple of job blocks down in here in the hope that they... I didn't bring any job blocks, did I? Back in a minute. Right, I'm just going to pop a job block right at the end here, and we'll pop one right at the end down here as well. It doesn't really matter what direction they go at the minute, so that's all ready to rock. We don't particularly want them to go in this area because that'll just make life a little bit awkward. We'll just kind of fence that off. But other than that, we are good to go. Let me pop a chest down because we're always going to need to store bits and pieces in here, including millions and millions of emeralds eventually. Right, ready to rock. Let's see if these villagers are going to behave. Now, one kind of critical thing here is that we don't want all of the villagers to come out of here. We're always going to want to save a few to breed, but if we can get a few through, we've got one in, there's another, he's just gone back. I think he has gone to a job block, which is great, and we're going to need a bucket of water for this, by the way, to get everything done and have your trapdoors at hand. Where is he? Where's he gone? Yep, you can go there, that's fine. Drop a bucket of water. This is just my method for doing it, by the way. Trapdoor underneath there, that'll do. Pick that up. One in, many, many more to go. Now, if they're not coming out, come on, you can go. Go! Go! Right, if they're not coming out, what we will do, we will basically put an interim job block down en route, if that makes sense. I'm just going to shut this gate because I don't want any more coming out at the minute. They can get in to go to bed. As long as they can get to bed, that's fine. And in the meantime, you guys go that way, please. on through, guys. So, you kind of get the general idea. It's just a bit of a case of wrangling them in there by placing the water and moving around the trapdoors to get them locked into position. Now, at the minute, they're all happily in there, so I'm just going to lock this up and we'll come back because I don't want to be doing this at night time. But I'll come back to you once I've filled up all these little villager kind of holes here. We've still got this guy in here, that's absolutely fine. Right, so after much wrangling, we have got all of our villagers. Well, we've got 20 villagers in our trading hall area. I also had to do a little bit of work with the iron golems because we had a few too many of them and I don't want that interfering with the iron farm. But I didn't want to get rid of all of them because they are useful. At the end of the day, if a mob comes over here somehow, I mean, for example, a mob could potentially get onto the roof there and maybe drop down behind the fence and break the door and get into the trading hall and cause all sorts of havoc. You don't want anything like that happening. So I do like having a couple of golems around, but you don't want too many. And as you can see, we've got this guy here just kind of chilling out in the water. We also appear to have one in the forest all the way up here. But again, that's far enough away from the iron farm that that won't cause a problem. And if you are getting a ridiculous amount of golems being summoned by the villagers, then what you can do is just keep a golem really close to them. Like you could basically put one on a lead, tie it to this fence, and hopefully that's close enough to these villagers that they'll detect it and not summon any more. And another thing you can do, if you've got enough villagers and you don't need to breed anymore, just break their beds, because if they can't sleep, they can't summon a golem. Anyway, let me quickly show you this. We've basically got 10 villagers all around this side, all blocked in with these little trapdoors. We can get rid of these fences now. There's a cat trapped over there. We could potentially tame the cat. Cats are handy because creepers are frightened of cats. It shouldn't cause a problem in here, so we'll just leave them in here for now. And we've got 10 villagers and another cat over here as well. So it's time to give these villagers some jobs, and in order to do that we need to make some job blocks. And what jobs do we want to give them? Well, that's a very good question, and really it's entirely up to you. But I'm just going to take you through the way I like doing it, and in order to do that, we're going to need 4 toolsmiths, 3 weaponsmiths, 3 armourers and 10 librarians, and that should be enough to get us going. I'll explain why we're going to do these in a minute, but in order to make all of these we're going to need various bits and pieces, and you may have seen I did a little bit of kind of resource gathering while I was doing a bit more villager breeding, so I've got plenty wood and other bits and pieces that we need to make all this stuff. So, I've already made 4 smithing tables and 3 blast furnaces. I'm not going to take you through making that, it's pretty straightforward. We need 3 grindstones. I do already have one in the trading hall, but I'll make another 3 anyway, because we'll probably need more later down the line. Then we need a whole load of books. Where have we got leather? In here. And we need some paper, which we can make from sugarcane. So we'll make a whole load of paper. And I think we need 30 books. I mean, in all honesty, actually, I am going to make all of them because we're going to need the books later on. You'll see why. So yeah, we'll make 42 books. That's fine. We then need 10 bookshelves. And we should now be able to make 10 lecterns. Job's a good one. So we'll grab these other blocks and we'll head over to the trading hall. And then, really straightforward, all I'm going to do is shove a job block in front of each of them. And I'm going to have, on this right hand side, these are all going to be librarians. One there. You can see they're picking up their job straight away. What's this got? Silk Touch at 14. Yeah, I might have that. I haven't got any emeralds yet. Let's just head round here. And by the way, I will tell you what all these enchantments mean very, very soon. Sometimes you have to wait a little bit before they pick up their job, so don't worry about that. And then we'll head over to this side and we'll go smithing table, smithing table, smithing table, smithing table. Bump, 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 bump. Bump. Splendid. Next thing, I forgot to bring iron, didn't I? Man. And by the way, you can see these have all now picked up their librarian trade. You can see they're dressed as librarians. And these ones just have as well. And that one has as well. Now, I'm reluctant to even look at what they've got. Because if they've got something good, I haven't got any emeralds yet to trade. Come on, let's have a quick look. Curse of Vanishing. You wouldn't want that anyway. So, okay, let's go and get some iron. And by the way, I think I might have mentioned it's more efficient to store iron as blocks of iron rather than as iron ingots. But we're going to need loads and loads of this. We'll take a whole load over at the trading hall, along with a pile of books as well. These guys have all picked up their trades, so we've got a novice toolsmith here. So I'm just going to dump most of this iron into a chest here for the minute. And the only tricky thing is that we are going to have to get all of these guys, I think, up to apprentice level, and at the moment we can't do that until we buy some stuff off them, and we can't buy anything because we have no emeralds. So it's a bit of a chicken and egg. What you could do is set up a bunch of Fletchers, and you can use Fletchers to trade sticks for emeralds, but we're going to do this a slightly different way. Let's see, what have we got here? Frostwalker. This guy is just buying paper, and we do have a fair bit of paper from our sugarcane. So what I'm going to do actually is go and grab a whole load more sugarcane, and we'll try and get some emeralds just from trading paper. Whether or not that's going to be enough, I'm not entirely sure. We shall see. I've also been back and I've picked up some coal as well, just as a last resort in case we're going to need that to do some trading. I don't want to get rid of all my coal in particular because it's quite useful, but it's there as an option. So let's head over to these librarians and see what they've got. We already know we don't want Curse of Vanishing. What have you got? You've got Silk Touch for 10 emeralds. That's actually pretty good trade. Remember, as soon as you start trading with them, you're going to lock them into that trade, but that's absolutely fine. So all I'm going to do is sell them a whole load of paper. So I'm going to hold down Shift, click on the paper. That puts as much paper as possible into that slot, and then while holding Shift, grab the emeralds. So we've got 2. We'll just do the same again. That, and again, that, and we can see that has brought them all the way to the top level of novice. So when we come off here, they are now going to power up to apprentice level. And because of that, we have got some extra trades. They now sell lanterns, and you can also buy a Protection 2 book off them, which we don't particularly want Protection 2, but that's fine. This is our librarian for Silk Touch, and he is now 100% locked in on that. Let's see what else we've got. Frostwalker, nope. Curse of Binding, definitely not. We've got no books from him at the minute. Respiration 2, not great. Depth Strider 3 for 15, that's actually really good. I mean, it's not an early level enchantment that we're going to really need anytime soon, but it is quite a good price for that. So I am going to lock that in by selling him a whole load of paper. And I'm going to go through all of these enchantments in a minute, and I'll tell you what they mean. Unbreaking 3, oh man, but that's 43, that's really expensive for Unbreaking 3. So for the minute, I'm going to hold fire. What about this guy? What's he got? Frostwalker, not particularly bothered about that. Can I sell you any more paper? Yes, we'll just do that quickly. Right, we've sold all of our paper, and we have got 15 emeralds, and hopefully that is now enough that we can buy some stuff off these guys and get them up to apprentice level. And then once we get them up to apprentice level, we'll be able to sell them iron, and that will fix all of our emerald problems. And by the way, the reason I like toolsmiths is because they're probably the easiest one to get up to apprentice level. All of these other guys, you see, I need 3 emeralds to get 1 iron axe, which I don't particularly need. I mean, I definitely don't need stone tools, but it's an easy trade, isn't it? So let's just see how many hoes we can buy off this guy to get him up to apprentice level. 1 more. Let's come off him. Go back, and yes, he is now buying iron. 3 ingots, that's a really good price as well. So 3 iron ingots for 1 emerald. Let's get started. We can ditch all of these hoes. We'll just chuck them away at some point. And we'll grab a whole load of iron. Again, hold down shift, and I'm going to sell as much iron as I possibly can. So again, holding down shift while grabbing the emeralds. There we go. But now that we've done a bit of selling to this guy, that's brought him up to journeyman level, and you can see we've got some extra things that we could buy off him. We don't want iron tools, but yeah, if we wanted to. Now, we can't sell him any more iron at the minute. We need to wait for him to restock. But because we've now got 17 emeralds, we can get on to the next guy down here. And we basically just work our way down the line. So we'll buy some axes. I'm going to run out of inventory space quite quickly here. Get them up to apprentice level. And there we go. Once again, he is now buying iron. 3 ingots for 1 emerald. Yes, please. Bish, bash, bosh. Another whole load of XP that you get off that as well, along with a whole load of emeralds. And this guy is now, again, at journeyman level. Let's go to the next one. And these guys at the beginning have refreshed their trades, and we can sell them a little bit more iron. Now you can see the price has gone up a bit because we've been selling them a lot of iron, which is fine. We've got so much iron it really doesn't matter, so I'm just going to keep going. That will bring him up to expert level now. And what's he doing at expert level? We are now getting a diamond axe for 25 emeralds with fortune 1 and efficiency 2 on it. So that's not bad. Anyway, these other guys haven't restocked yet, but in the meantime, I'm just going to work my way around all of these villagers here, trading with them to try and get them at least up to secondary level, and then we're basically going to use these guys just for getting emeralds. But in the meantime, we need to talk about librarians and what enchantments you actually want, because this changes the game in such a radical way. it almost feels like cheating, but it's completely vanilla Minecraft, and it's a game function that probably the vast majority of Minecraft players just don't make use of because they don't fully understand it. So if you're planning on playing on survival Minecraft and doing a lot of building, you're going to need a lot of blocks, and therefore you're going to get through a lot of tools. And likewise, if you're just planning on fighting loads of mobs, you're also going to need better armor and better weapons and all that sort of thing. Now, you can get an enchantment table and enchant your gear that way, but I just don't like that method. It's just too random for me. I much prefer to use librarian villagers because you are then guaranteed to get the enchantment that you want. And what is an enchantment, I hear you ask? Well, basically you buy an enchanted book and then you use that book to put an enchantment onto a weapon or a tool or a piece of armor or whatever, and it makes that tool better, significantly better. And there are a lot of different enchantments in Minecraft, and it can all get quite confusing. So I'm just going to take you through the enchantments that I like to use, but really it's going to depend on your playing style and what you're planning on doing in the game. I'm really focusing on having tools that work really well and having some good armor and things like that. So, for pretty much all tools and armor, you want Unbreaking 3, that increases your item durability, and you want Mending, and that basically means that you can repair items using experience orbs. And because you get experience from trading with villagers, it basically means every time you do a trade, it mends your tools and it mends your armor. So Unbreaking 3 and Mending are probably two of the most important enchantments to try and get. And then we also want Protection 4 for all of our armor, and that basically reduces the amount of damage you get from mobs. Then everything else is going to depend on the particular tool in question. So for example, a sword, I would generally have Smite 5 or Sharpness 5. Smite 5 is technically better than Sharpness 5, but only on undead mobs. So if you want just a general purpose good sword, try and get Sharpness 5 if possible. But I like to have both because I tend to kill more undead mobs than like other mobs like spiders and creepers. Again, Sweeping Edge 3 increases attack damage, Looting 3 increases the amount of loot that you get from a mob when you kill it. And that goes for hostile mobs and passive mobs. So for example, when you kill a cow, I think you get more leather off them, or more beef or something, I can't remember. Anyway, Looting 3, you definitely want that on a sword, and potentially on an axe as well. Then on a pickaxe, axe and shovel, you might want to have Silk Touch. You don't always want Silk Touch, so I would normally have one pickaxe with Silk Touch and one pickaxe with Fortune 3. Silk Touch allows you to pick up blocks that you previously couldn't pick up. So for example, you can mine stone directly and it doesn't turn into cobblestone. It also allows you to do a whole load of other things like picking up beehives and various other stuff. We'll kind of cover that more as we use them, but for now I definitely want at least one pickaxe with Silk Touch and one with Fortune 3. The big thing about Fortune 3 is that it gives you more drops when you're mining for ores, and that's why I don't do any diamond mining until I've got Fortune 3 on a pickaxe, because you get more diamonds. There's really no point in getting it before you've got Fortune 3 in my view. And then Efficiency 5, it gives you mining efficiency. You can mine blocks more quickly, you can chop down trees more quickly, and all sorts of other things. Now, I'm not going to go through every single one of these and what they do at the moment, because it'll take us forever. I might make a separate video about it, I don't know. What I am going to go through is my very subjective order of importance for getting hold of these enchantments. Now, you can see Depth Strider is all the way down at number 13 on my list, but you know, it's a good price and we needed the emeralds, so I don't really care, we've locked him in. But these are the ones that I really want early game. So Feather Falling 4, that basically means that you can fall from a higher height without taking as much fall damage. I fall all the time. We've already mentioned Unbreaking and Mending and Silk Touch and Efficiency. So these are all really useful enchantments to have early on. Fortune 3, Looting 3, Sharpness 5, Power 5 and Infinity on a bow is really, really useful. Protection 4. Flame on a bow basically lets you set mobs on fire when you shoot an arrow at them. And then we've got Depth Strider, Respiration, Aqua Affinity. They're more for swimming underwater, doing underwater things. And we briefly talked about Smite 5 and Sweeping Edge 3 as well. And the thing is, you don't have to get all of these as primary trades. They might come up as secondary trades, but you just have to see. It's a bit of a roll of the dice. But if there are other enchantments that you're after, it might be worth trying to get all of these first and just see if the other enchantments come up as secondary trades before you get more villagers. Bear in mind, we've only got 10 librarians at the minute, but yeah, we'll kind of cross that bridge when we come to it. And by the way, it's worth also mentioning we are definitely going to get more villagers later down the line because clerics are really useful. They buy rotten flesh and sell redstone and glowstone and ender pearls. So if you're ever looking for a resource for ender pearls and you don't want to kill millions of endermen, just buy them off clerics. Masons sell bricks and stained terracotta. Fletchers buy sticks and flint. Farmers buy wheat and melons and various other things. Shepherds buy and sell wool. Cartographers sell really useful maps. And fishermen sell things like campfires, which are a bit of a ball ache to make. Now, obviously, there's a lot of information on here, and you don't have to memorize all of this. It'll all make more sense the more that we use all of these kind of things, and I will explain them more as we come across them. But for now, I just want as many librarians as possible selling these books. So, we need to get organised here, because things can get complicated quite quickly, and all I've done is I've made a whole bunch of signs, and I'm going to put a sign above all of their heads, and we're going to keep note of what each villager is actually selling. So, I've added the signs absolutely everywhere, and over this side as well, which I'll update you on these guys in a minute, because I've traded them up a fair bit. Anyway, which ones have we locked in? We've got him locked in, and he is selling Silk Touch. His normal price is 10 emeralds. I'm not going to bother logging Protection 2 because I doubt I'd ever want to buy that. And was it this guy here? No, where's our Depth Strider guy? Here we go, Depth Strider for 15. I think they're the only ones we had locked in, but the next thing I'm going to do, just as a bit of admin, let's get rid of all of this junk. You can smelt down the iron stuff, but the stone tools, there's absolutely no point in keeping those. There we go, things are a little bit tidier now. We have got a bunch of emeralds to get started and a bunch of books, so we should be alright, but we can always go back and do a bit more iron trading. But if you remember our villager episode from a little while ago, we talked about rolling the villagers. And that's a term we generally use for librarian villagers when we're going to break the lectern and replace it, and it means that we're going to get a different set of trades out of them. So for example, this one here currently has nothing as a primary trade that we're particularly interested in. So all I'm going to do is break the lectern and then we'll place it back down, and you'll see he's now picked up the job block again, and we've got Blast Protection 3, which isn't bad, but not a one that we particularly want. I'm just going to go down the line here and see what everyone's got, to be honest. He's got nothing. Let's just roll that one. Do not accidentally hit the villager when you do this. That would cause all sorts of problems. Nothing. Impaling 4. Expensive, and we don't particularly want it. It's worth checking them all quickly, just in case there's a trade there that you really want. Right, we're just going to start from here. Break and replace. Nothing. Looting 1. No good. Power 5. Ooh, 48. That's expensive for Power 5. So you can keep rolling it for an individual, or you can kind of work around. It's completely up to you. Flame at 17, it's not bad. You know what it is, I'll leave it there for now. I might come back to him, but it's at number 12 on our list. It's not a very high priority one. Let's try this one. Depth Strider 3 at 44. We've already got it at 15, so yeah, we definitely don't want that. Mending at 28. Yes, please, I will have that. We have got our first enchanted book, and we have got mending. Oh yes, that is such a useful one. It's a little bit on the expensive side at 28, but I don't really care, because mending is genuinely one of the most useful enchantments in the game. But anyway, you get the general idea. You don't have to watch me just endlessly rolling villagers like this, because it takes a long time. Sometimes it's taken me as much as 800 rolls of lecterns to get the enchantments that I want. It is supposed to be random, but some of them seem to come up a lot more often than others. Anyway, I'll come back to you once I've sorted this out a little bit. In the meantime, ooh, it's night time. That's bad news. Let's just sleep quickly. And I'll quickly show you the situation with these guys around here. We might as well grab some iron. Where did I put our iron? Here it is here. And most of these we've got now to a level where we're trading iron with them. You can see this one is already at master level. And what I do like to do is just put on the sign, for example, toolsmith, and what level they're at. He is as OP as you can possibly get, and as you can see, his emerald trades are quite expensive at the minute because we've traded with him so much. That probably won't drop until we buy some other things off him or just leave him alone for a bit. What about this guy? He is an expert. We might as well get him up to master. There we go. What's he selling? He has got an Unbreaking 1 diamond pickaxe and an efficiency 2 diamond shovel. That's pretty decent. What about this one? He is already at master level and has an efficiency 3 diamond pickaxe and a decent diamond axe and a decent diamond shovel as well. Oh my word. On the basis that his iron trades are at a really good price at the minute, I am going to sell him some more iron ingots. And our fourth toolsmith is also already at master level, and oh, look at that. We've got a diamond axe with silk touch and unbreaking 3. That's amazing. Wow. Okay, yeah, fine. And he's still got a really good price on iron trade, so we might as well do more of those. And what you might also want to do is make a note of what his good trades are. So for example, this guy here has that amazing axe sale going on, so I might just call him the Axe Man. But what else have we got going on here? How about this armourer? He's currently at expert level and has diamond leggings with protection 2 and diamond boots with protection 2 and feather falling 3. Now this is where sometimes you don't need the enchanted books because you're getting such good enchanted items off villagers such as armourers that you just don't need them. I mean, yeah, protection 4 would be better, but that's pretty good. Anyway, let's get them to master level quickly. And we've now got a diamond chestplate with protection 1 and a diamond helmet with blast protection. Yeah, that's pretty decent. So I'm not going to bore you anymore with this. You get the general idea. I'm just going to go around all of these and bring them all up to master level, see what we're going to get out of them, and I'll also do a little bit more rolling on the librarian villagers, and I will come back to you. And a little time later, and we have got all of our villagers dialed in. We have managed to get Flame, Infinity, Sharpness 5, Depth Strider 3, Unbreaking 3, Mending, Fortune 3, Looting 3, Silk Touch, and Feather Falling 4. So it's not absolutely everything we need, but it's not a bad collection. Here's a quick look at our very subjective enchantment order list. We've got almost everything in the top 10, which is great. The only major one that we don't have is efficiency 5, but we can get efficiency 3 on some tools pre-enchanted from the toolsmith anyway, so that's not the end of the world. I think the only major one that we're missing really is power 5 for our bow, but as an added bonus we do have flame and we've got infinity, so we can get a pretty decent bow up and running. Still need protection 4 for our armor, respiration 3 if we're doing any underwater work. We don't have aqua affinity, but we can get that from an armorer, so we don't really need it. It might be handy to have it later down the line so we can enchant things separately, but that's why it's kind of important to get your armorers and weaponsmiths and things all at master level before worrying about your librarians too much. And we don't have Smite 5 or Sweeping Edge 3 yet, but again, that isn't the end of the world. We will get them later down the line. And if we quickly check our game statistics, you can see the lectern there. It took 284 rolls to get to that level. So that's an average of 28.4 times we've had to break and replace the lectern for each villager. But they are all locked in now, and the next challenge is going to be to bring all of these up to master level, because these are all just kind of novice level at the moment. We'll do that by various means. For example, this one, we could sell loads of paper to them, we could buy more feather falling books off them, but there's only so many books you're going to need, so I wouldn't waste your emeralds too much. See what comes up on later trades, because there might be things that you can buy off them or sell to them that aren't as expensive as just constantly buying enchanted books. And did I show you all these guys at master level? I've kind of marked everything on the wall now, but for example, we've got the weaponsmith here, who has a sword with sharpness 2 on for 16 emeralds. And check out this armourer here. I've got him marked down for a helmet, but he's got all sorts of stuff. He's got fully enchanted, well, not fully enchanted, but he's got really good enchanted gear. Check out the helmet. Fire Protection 1, Respiration 1, Aqua Affinity, and Unbreaking 2 for 16 emeralds. Yes, thank you very much. Not a single diamond mined. I'll have one of those. Anyway, before I do that, what I'm going to do is just max up our emerald supply. So let's just quickly head over to the iron farm and see how that's doing. Hello, sir. Anything interesting? Nautilus shells. Ooh, I'll have some of that. Nautilus shells is one of the few wandering trader trades that comes up from time to time that is definitely worth buying if you can get hold of it, because they're a little bit awkward to get hold of, and later in the game, if you ever want to make a conduit, which you can use for various underwater things, Nautilus shells are essential for that. So I'm just going to buy as many as I can. 5 of them, no problem. Anything else worth buying? Bucket of tropical fish, no. Black dye's quite handy, I'll have that. Other than that, nope. You can go a journey. Sorry, sir. We will set up an automated sugarcane farm at some point, but that's kind of low priority at the moment, so I'm just doing it the manual method. But it's always worth keeping on top of the sugarcane now, because we're going to need it for trading paper. So if needs be, we might even expand production at some point. But honestly, once we set up a sugarcane farm, we're going to have more paper than you could ever use. Don't have feather falling yet. Oops. Okay, let's just sort our inventory a little bit. What I'd give for shulker boxes right now. Actually, you know what? Let's bring a crafting table. Let's quickly do a little bit more trading. We'll bring him up to speed a little bit. How much paper we've got left? Only 6 bits. But what have we got? Sweeping Edge 1. Not great. But this is the thing. Don't panic about not having all of your enchantments at this stage, because once you bring these up to master level, you never know what they're going to get later down the line. It'll be absolutely sod's law that you'll spend ages and ages trying to get one particular enchantment, and then it happens to come up as a secondary trade much later and much cheaper. And by the way, when I was rolling the villagers, oh man, I had mending come up about 5 more times, and once it came up at, I think 8 or 10 or something, it came up really, really cheap. But since this guy's already locked in at 28, there was really no point in getting it. And I did at one point accidentally hit one of my villagers. I can't remember which one it was. But for a little while, one of them, I think it was this guy here, he put all of his prices way up because I accidentally hit him Don't accidentally hit your villagers. Anyway, I'm just leaving some leftover bits and... Oh, look, I've got enough paper to do one more paper trade. Can we do you? Yes. Thank you. So, in the meantime, let's grab a bit more iron, and we'll turn those back into ingots again, and we'll just quickly roll down the line on here. 5 and a bit stacks of emeralds. Thank you very much for 5 minutes of trading. That'll do the job. Time to go on a bit of a shopping spree, I think. The only thing that the toolsmiths don't have is a diamond hoe. Normally you do get the option of a diamond hoe, but we don't have that, so we're going to have to make do with an iron hoe for now. Anyway, who was the guy with the really good pickaxe? I think it was this one. Yep, I'll have one of them, please. Efficiency 2 and breaking 2 on an axe, but what did you have again? I can't remember. Silk touch and unbreaking 3. Both are quite tempting, to be honest. I'm going to have that. And that'll do for any kind of silk touch axe work for now. And then I'm also going to have this efficiency 2 one as well. That'll be really handy for chopping trees down. Let's grab some diamond gear. Definitely want that helmet. That is fantastic. And I've got the advancement cover me with diamonds without mining a single diamond. This guy's pretty good for boots. We'll have a set of those. Leggings. Who's good for leggings? You're 27 on the leggings. 22 with protection 2. You're 20 but no protection on that. I think I'm tempted to go for 22 with protection 2. Yep, we'll have one of those. What about chest plate? We'll go for this one, protection 2. That means we can now get fully suited and booted. We'll grab a sword off this guy. And who has a shovel? Is your shovel the best one? Unbreaking 3. No shovels with efficiency. Okay, we've got unbreak. I'm going to go for efficiency, I think, actually, over unbreaking, because we'll always just get another one. And that'll be a bit faster. I'm not going to do any of these enchantments today. I'll save that for next time, because this episode is already very, very long, and if we start talking about how to enchant things, it's going to end up being like a 2-hour-long episode, which is probably a little bit excessive. Let me just grab my bed back. For the minute, I am going to keep hold of these iron tools just as backup tools, but once we buy a few more diamond tools, we'll have so many backup tools we'll not need these anymore. And we can always smelt them down if needs be. But you get so little from smelting down iron that it's not really worth it. I'm going to leave my Silk Touch axe in here for now as well. But we are wrapped in diamonds without mining a single diamond. And we will be mining diamonds later down the line because we're going to need them for other things. But, you know, at this stage, I just wanted to get decent armor, decent tools, and villagers are by far the easiest way of doing that. Oh, and by the way, there was a thunderstorm and the lightning struck right next to the villager trading hall, and it must have hit the lightning rod. And I got the Surge Protector advancement, which I don't think I've ever had that before, and it basically means that the lightning hit the lightning rod and didn't kill the villager. So that's kind of good news. What else have I forgotten to tell you? Probably all sorts of things, but we are at a stage now where we can get all of our tools fully enchanted, which we'll talk more about that next time. And then with fully enchanted gear, we can start doing some more serious building and terraforming work. So it's all going to get very exciting from here on in. As I've said before, I am more of a builder than a fighter on Minecraft, so everything I do is kind of geared around the fun of playing in hard survival mode, but with kind of an end goal of building things. Oh, that reminds me, one more thing I forgot to do. How did I forget this? It's time, ladies and gentlemen, to consult the to-do list and obtain villagers, done. Breed villagers, done, although we do need more. Build iron farm and build villager trading hall, done. So we have finally done everything on our list. How exciting is that? Awesome stuff. So I think next time we're going to put together a new to-do list, because there's a whole load more farms we need to make, and I'm not talking about animal farms. I'm talking about farms for things like sugarcane and bamboo, maybe a wool farm, and eventually, once we get really good, we'll build things like a gold farm, but we're not quite at that stage yet. Anyway, folks, for now, do let us know down in the comments what your favourite villager, like librarian enchantments are. What order do you enchant things in? As I say, we're going to talk a lot more about that next time. But for now, folks, as per usual, happy Minecrafting, and we shall see you next time. Tatty bye. Today, I am waving a diamond sword in your face.